Oh,
I might, you
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
So talk about philosophy
Okay,
and what.
yeah. He had actually put here, what was your mindset on scheduling games?
Well, that was our mindset. We had to play good competition in order to get better. And we couldn't get anybody to come and play us that what we would call uh, good competition that would help us get better. We couldn't get them for $1,500 a month. Consequently, we went on the road. We tried to play in as many tournaments on the road as we could because that might give us at least one game on that would be considered a neutral site. But it was still tough because, like Chuck was saying, um, a lot of the coaches just wanted to get 20 wins. Any way they could get it. It was little sisters of the poor. It didn't make any difference who they were. If they could get a win and get it on their record. Today, you can't tell me. I'm gonna tell you too. Here's a team that's won has a win and they have a loss. And out of those two games, one of them was against UCLA's undefeated team, and one of them was against Podunk High School. Now, they're over here. Are they both the same? They're, that win or loss, see, they don't make any difference. Later, and not right now it isn't important, but later, there's no difference in playing good teams and bad teams according to the record that you have. And there's many coaches that have padded their records by playing people that couldn't play very well.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel like, I mean, your goal was for your guys to get better?
Yep.
And do you feel like their teams in some ways suffered from that mindset? Because their goal wasn't about the improvement of the players. You know what I'm saying?
Say that again.
I'm just wondering if, I mean, obviously your goal was so your players could improve.
Right.
Where coaches were scheduling to guarantee wins,
Yeah.
over losses.
Right.
Do you feel like those players suffered from that kind of mindset a little bit? Like they didn't have the opportunity to improve the way yours
Well,
did?
I don't know that they did, but they certainly could have, and wouldn't be surprised. But what it gave us a little advantage over them when we played them, having played the schedule they would play.
Mm-hmm. Jason, did you have anything else?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Chuck does. You're next, Chuck.
Yeah, might also just mention, adding to that, that Dad has mentioned many times that the toughest part of his schedule was non-conference. It wasn't conference.
Mm-hmm.
The toughest part of his schedule was non-conference.
Well, and again, I say that the reason we did get better was because we played the competition. It wasn't necessarily coaching. Didn't have anything. It might have had a little bit, but not a whole lot to do with it. It was the players playing basketball.
Mm-hmm. Jason, did you have something?
Yeah, I mean, I think I maybe transition a little bit into, what was it like recruiting back then, and there's a Johnny Moore story.
Mm-hmm.
And can I add,
Yeah.
if you want to talk about this, I've heard the players say this. When they came and played for Dad, they knew they were going to be playing against some of the best teams in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to be playing against, when he was talking about Maravich and John Wooden, that was when he was coach. And they knew they were going to be playing all over the United States against some of the best future NBA type players,
Yeah.
And that was going to be a pretty big deal.
So again, it needs to come from Dad's mouth, not Chuck. So.
Right.
I'm just throwing it out.
No, that's good. So, yeah, well, let's talk about recruitment a little bit and how that your mindset in playing those really great teams helped you recruit, I would think, for players who knew that that's who they
It did.
Going on the
helped
court
us
with.
some, and some it scared off.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had a combination of those two effects.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, it was a positive as opposed to a a negative, but recruiting was always hard. But and I don't know when you have this down that you might ask me the question about when we integrated the basketball program. Once our conference, the Southwest Conference at the time, we were a little slow coming around to recognizing, maybe not just recognizing, but acknowledging the fact that we were losing all of our great athletes that were black. We were losing them to schools across the line and up further north. And so finally the Southwest Conference began to think in those terms. Well, I had long since been thinking in those terms, and in fact did. I brought in I brought in Johnny Moore, that I recruited out of Altoona, Pennsylvania, whose number hangs in the Spur locker arena right now. Anyway, but those were the times we did begin to look at the black community, and Jimmy Blackwood was Blacklock was the first scholarship black player we had, and he went on to coach and play for the Harlem Globetrotters, and still is coaching them. But we had a lot of really good black basketball players. They helped change basketball in the Southwest Conference. But credit to them, they did not have their hand out. They did not ask me for money. But at that time, for recruiting, you might go into a school in one of our inner cities, and you were trying to recruit that student athlete. There might be 2 or 3, maybe 4, that would in fact approach you and have their hand out, because it was just open season, and there was so much cheating at that time that went on that they couldn't handle. The NCAA, they weren't prepared to investigate or check out all the rumors that were going on, and the Southwest Conference obviously wasn't, even though I thought maybe they were when I did what I did later on because I was upset about it.
So let's talk about the process of integration. How did that come about in the Southwest Conference, and particularly at UT?
Well, people always used to say that I couldn't play a black basketball